that is proud to hunt. Let us know your thoughts on that story.
All right, from Missouri, outside St. Louis, we have the latest from a state senator called Maria Chappelle-Nadal. You may remember her from the Ferguson protest. She was one of the more extreme protesters, I would say, running around. She described the protest there as, quote, a race war, really kind of an extremist. She is now on Twitter saying this in a tweet that has since been deleted. She attacks her opponents or anyone she doesn't like as purveyors of white privilege. When you exercise your white privilege, don't think I'm not going to remember. I will use it for the future. Uncomfortable? Yes.
Well, Senator Nadal, a superdelegate in 2008 to the Democratic National Convention for President Obama, is again perpetuating the race war that she announced in November. And if you look at her tweet stream, time and time again, she strikes almost an anarchist pose that government has failed, government continues to fail, and I don't know what she is proposing other than to inflame people over so-called white privilege and invoking the notion of a race war. This is a person who's been elected in the state of Missouri, allegedly to represent the people in her district, and the chyron here says a new low. It might be.
Yeah, you think?
Let's take a listen to her back on August the 18th when she's blaming cops for the violence in Ferguson. Listen.
I'm just looking at all of the facts and my experiences, and I think, as well as some of my constituents think, at this point in time, the State Highway Patrol, St. Louis County Police, as well as the Ferguson Police Department may be trying to make this situation worse than what it actually is. I represent my constituents, not Governor Nixon. And so I need to tell you this. He has been absent from the minority community his entire career and only comes before us when it's politically expedient for him.
And she does like to keep it classy on Twitter. Governor Jay Nixon had said, as governor, I'm committed to ensuring pain of last weekend's tragedy does not continue to be compounded by this ongoing crisis. Hashtag Ferguson. You know what she said in response? At Governor Jay Nixon, F you, Governor. I'm calling your BS, and actually spelled all those words out.
You know, that's whatever she uses. Look, here's the problem that I have with it, is not just that she's obviously an extremist, but she's a race hater. She attacks people based on the color of their skin, and that's just not a good thing. That's not moral. It's wrong. It shouldn't be allowed. And two, she's an associate of the president. She was a delegate, as Peter said, for President Obama. Why is it that President Obama has people like this supporting him, has people like Al Sharpton in the White House 70 times, people who are openly bigoted, openly racist, and nobody calls him on it?
And don't drag your constituents into your filthy rhetoric. I doubt, and I challenge her, that she stands with her constituents in those statements.
It's pretty upset. There ought to be some line that you don't cross if you're an elected official.
She's crossed them.
Attacking people on the basis of their race. And this white privilege stuff is just that. It's attacking people based on their skin color, and I think we should call it what it is.
Lots more coming up. Sportscaster Jim Rome sparking a Twitter firestorm after calling marching band members, quote, uncool dorks. See the amazing response.